One of the many great things about sports is that it's truly a game of inches, and football is no different. Each season, 32 teams battle it out for one spot as world champions. Throughout history, there have been games decided by literal inches or just routine plays that ended up not being converted, and unfortunately for the teams on the wrong end, sometimes it happens during the biggest moment of the season. So with that being said, here are 6 plays that almost changed NFL history. Number 1. Jimmy Garoppolo overthrows Emmanuel Sanders. This one is the most recent, so I'm sure we remember it, but the Niners were very close to potentially changing the outcome of Super Bowl 54. With 2 minutes and 44 seconds remaining, the Chiefs took a 24-20 lead and the Niners had possession, needing a touchdown to win. It was 3rd and 10 on the Chiefs' 49-yard line with 1:40 remaining, and the Niners took a deep shot that was almost converted. Emmanuel Sanders, who was acquired just a few months prior, found his way behind the Chiefs' defense, but quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo slightly overthrew him by a few feet. At worst, this would have put the Niners inside the 5-yard line, needing a touchdown, but chances are he would have scored if the throw was more accurate. With the game on the line, the Niners had a chance to capitalize on getting behind the defense, but the throw was just not good enough. As we know, the Niners would go for it on 4th and 10, and Garoppolo was sacked, which basically ended the game. Instead of the Niners winning their 6th Super Bowl in franchise's history, it was the Chiefs who won their first Super Bowl since 1970. Number 2. Brandon Cooks' drop in Super Bowl 53. We remember Super Bowl 53 between the Patriots and Rams being a defensive battle, but the Rams definitely had their chances. Funny enough, it was Brandon Cooks himself who nearly hauled in the first touchdown of the game late in the 3rd quarter. Jason McCourty made a phenomenal play and the score remained 3-0 New England. About a full quarter later, with around 4 minutes and 30 seconds remaining and on the Patriots' 27-yard line, Jared Goff laid out a perfect pass for Brandon Cooks. If caught, this would have made the score 9-10 with an extra point pending. Stephon Gilmore, with the help of Deron Harmon, was able to disrupt the pass enough, and on the very next play, Goff threw a careless pass that was intercepted by Gilmore, ultimately ending all momentum that the Rams had at that point. As we know, the Patriots would hold on and go on to win their 6th Super Bowl during the Brady and Belichick era. Number 3. Vic Beasleys' near overtime interception in Super Bowl 51. Vic Beasleys' time as a Falcon probably won't be remembered too fondly, but he was inches away from changing the storyline of the 28-3 blown lead that sent the Falcons to overtime with the Patriots. Even after the 25 unanswered points and the Patriots easily marching down the field in overtime, the Falcons still nearly overcame all of that. After a pass interference call that put the Patriots on the 2-yard line, they tried a quick play action fake that was lobbed to Martellus Bennett, and it was underthrown enough to give Vic Beasley a chance to make a play on the ball. Now, while it's hard for a 6'3", 235-pound outside linebacker to intercept a fade route, he did have a fair chance. Unfortunately, Beasley wasn't able to turn his body around fast enough and only got one hand on Brady's pass to knock it incomplete. However, if he was able to come down with it, then all the Falcons would have needed was a field goal going the other way to win the Super Bowl. Instead, on the next play, James White ran to the right and won Super Bowl 51 for the Patriots. Number 4. Brandon Bostick muffs an onside kick recovery in an NFC Championship game. Brandon Bostick played 4 seasons in the NFL and never had a season over 120 yards receiving, but he still found a way to be remembered by Packers fans forever. Green Bay had a 16-0 lead halfway through the 3rd quarter, but Seattle stormed back. With 2 minutes and 9 seconds remaining and only 1 timeout remaining, Seattle elected to try an onside kick. If Green Bay recovers this onside kick, then their chances of making the Super Bowl become very likely. Just to add context, kicking teams recover onside kicks only around 6 to 8% of the time, so the chances that Green Bay would recover and likely advance to the Super Bowl were very likely at this point. Bostick was in a prime position to recover the kick, but the ball went through his hands, hit his face mask, and was recovered by Seattle. Seattle would go on to score and go up 3, but Green Bay sent it to overtime on a Mason Crosby field goal. Seattle would go on to win the toss, and a Jermaine Kearse touchdown sent Seattle to the Super Bowl. Seattle was a yard away from winning back-to-back Super Bowls, but as we know, Malcolm Butler and the Patriots had other plans. In an alternate scenario, Bostick recovers the onside kick, and Green Bay has a chance to win its 2nd Super Bowl in 4 seasons. Number 5. Lee Evans' near touchdown in the 2011 AFC Championship game. We know that throughout the Patriots dynasty, some things just seem to go their way. The tuck rule game is a perfect example, but what about a team that just flat out beat themselves in an AFC Championship game? With 29 seconds left and only trailing by 3, the Ravens were just 14 yards from the end zone and taking the lead in Foxborough to advance to Super Bowl 46. On 2nd and 1, Joe Flacco connected on what looked like to be a go-ahead touchdown with Lee Evans, but the ball was punched out and ruled incomplete. Flacco threw a beautiful back shoulder pass, but a player that was on the Raiders practice squad that same season, Sterling Moore, made a play that would ultimately send the Patriots to the Super Bowl. With 15 seconds left, the Ravens trotted out kicker Billy Cundiff to hit a chip shot 32-yard field goal to send the game to overtime. Cundiff had been 16 of 16 in fourth quarter field goals the previous 2 seasons, but he yanked it wide left and the Patriots somehow held on to make the Super Bowl. Number 6, Wes Welkers drop that could have won Super Bowl 46. We just talked about the Patriots getting lucky because of a receiver not coming up with a pass, but 2 weeks later in the Super Bowl, they'd face their own misfortune. With just over 4 minutes remaining on a 2nd and 11, Tom Brady lofted a pass that looked very catchable to his most reliable target in Wes Welker. Welker had to turn his body and adjust, but the ball bounced off his hands and fell incomplete. For their opponent, the Giants, they only had 1 timeout remaining plus the 2-minute warning. Welker making that catch means New England has the ball near the Giants' 20-yard line with a 2-point lead and a chance to take more time off the clock. If Welker caught this pass, we may have seen Brady and Belichick win 7 Super Bowls instead. The Patriots would punt, and Eli Manning led the Giants on a touchdown drive to take a 4-point lead with just under a minute remaining. New England didn't have much time to match it, and the Giants would go on to win Super Bowl 46. That'll do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this list and found this video interesting. The margin for error being so slim is one of those many things that make sports great, and it's things like this that can change the history of a sport. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.